also, just as I mentioned it to Jakub. Sorry for my condition today, but last 1.5 week I was traveling and I just came to Warsaw just 2-3 hours ago, and I just make a circle like Krakow, Berlin, Szczecin, and came back to Warsaw, and that was about 20 meetings with the heads of theaters, actors, heads of festivals, etc. And I thought, it's a good idea to accumulate it to one travel, not to just to Warsaw to Krakow, from Warsaw to Szczecin, from Warsaw to Berlin. No, I just thought, hey, let's do like one great trip. That was not a good idea. I do not recommend it to no of you. But as what I discovered from this journey, and this is what I have to tell myself loudly and also for you, that it is good to be visible. It is good to appear in another cities and say hello to anybody, because it works, seriously. So I highly recommend you to appear anywhere you can be, because then you are significant, you signify your presence. And today we have also the second meeting of 3 meetings, so we are in the middle strictly. And I think that this meeting with you today will be practical one. Yes. So we have 4 practices we will do together, and next week there will be more like summarizing, theoretical. Yes. So last one was combining from theory to practice. Today will be more practice, and the next week I will try to make it just sum up with.
Do you mean in 2 weeks, or do we have classes while workshops? Because next week is workshop week.
We have to ask about it, Jakub, and I think that we will ask him in the end of the meeting. That's a good question. I have to know it for sure too. So I have a little bit trouble, but I believe in such, conversation meetings, not like lectures that I'm speaking, only reading, etc. But exchanging our thoughts, our energies, our hesitatings, our questions also. I've got a lot after visiting these 3 cities, a lot of questions. And I thank you, Anna, for your text. I've read it. Danilo is flying. I've seen at the chat that he's not with us, but he also sent me the text. Apolinary, you've sent me, but not so fast, not so early. So just before our meeting, I took a quick look at this, but not complimentary. So I have to do it right now to see it once again. Okay. But I think it's good to focus on speaking about maybe Danilo's text, because he's not with us. And I believe in that author. I believe also as a theater director, even if he's still living and he's sitting at the rehearsal room, I am telling, okay, now the literature author is being dead. He's silent. He has not at all right to speak out loud. He's just dead. And Danilo is not with us, so I think that the best thing is to take his text on the wall. And our friend, I don't remember, Min. Min, are you with us also?
Yes, but I'm outside. I'm going home from work.
Okay, I see. But I haven't received your text. Do you have your one?
I'm afraid I didn't have I didn't have a text. I didn't have time for it. But I'm sorry.
No, not sorry for me. You know, and where are you now? If I could know. At this moment.
I'm out on the streets. You can hear the vehicles, the sound of vehicles. Also, I'm wearing a mask, so my voice is kind of muffled.
It's glad to hear you're still with us, so you are hearing us. But please tell me, what's the country? What's the city? Where are you? What continent?
I'm in Warsaw. I'm in Warsaw. I'm in Warsaw, Poland.
Okay, so you are still with us here. So I'm waving my hand from my window to you from Warsaw also. Okay, so we are in a cameral situation. It's good. It's good a point for you also, because this situation which I planned, you know, I prefer always to be one person situation with actors also. It's the most productive situation. So let's take Danilo text in the second moment, I think. Go to this file, please, which last time I presented you text examples. It is also in the files of our meeting. This PDF. Have you got it? Okay, Anna, if you could start reading number 1, Cleansed by Barlikowski, based on Sarah Kane.
Is it the old one or the new one you uploaded?
No, just that's last time also.
Okay, cleansed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to play hide and seek with you, and give you my clothes, and tell you I like your shoes, and sit on the stairs when you take a shower, and massage your neck. Sorry, like I have sometimes problem to breathe. And kiss your feet, and hold your hand, and go out together to eat, and not be offended when you eat my plate, and hang out at the bar, and talk about how your day was, and type your letters and move your boxes, and laugh at your insanity, and give you tapes you don't listen to, and watch great movies, and watch stupid movies, and complain about radio programs, and take pictures of you while you sleep, and get up to you coffee and buns, and go to Florence for a coffee at midnight, and do nothing to yourself when you steal my cigarettes, and you never had any matches, and tell you the TV show I saw the night before, and want you in the early morning but not wake you up so that you can still sleep, and kiss your back, and stroke your skin, and say how much I love your hair, your ears, your lips, your neck, and your breasts, your buttocks, and sit on the stairs smoking a cigarette until your neighbor comes home, and sit on the stairs smoking a cigarette until you get home, and worry when you are late, and be surprised when you are before, and give your sunflowers, and go to your parties, and dance till you drop, and apologize when I'm wrong, and be happy when you forgive me, and look at your photos, and wish I had known you forever, and have your voice in my ears, and feel the touch of your skin, and the panic when you're angry, and one of your eyes turns red, and the other one turns blue, your hair falls inside out, and your face has oriental feature, and tell you you're great, and hug you when you're scared, and hug you when somebody hurts you, and once when I smell you, and touch, you will touch and whimper like a child when I'm next to you, and when I'm away, and truly, your breasts and careless at you at night, and freeze when you take always the blanket, take away the blanket, and choke on the heat when you don't take it, and be amazed when you smile, and melt with happiness when you laugh, and for nothing to understand why you think that I'm rejecting you if I'm not rejecting you, and wonder how something like this could come to your mind, and wonder who you really are, but accept you anyway, and tell stories about enchanted angels, forest boys who crossed the ocean out of love for you, and write poems for you, and wonder why you don't believe me, and feel feelings so deep that there are no words to express them, and wanting to buy you a little kitten, which I will be jealous of because you will pay more attention to him than to me, and keep you in bed when you need to get out, and cry like a baby when you finally leave, and examine cockroaches, and buy you gifts that you don't want, and bring them back to the store, and keep asking you for your hand even though you've been refusing me, once because you don't think I care about it, although I care a lot since I did it the first time. And then I wandered around the city that seemed empty without you, and want what you want, and to know that I lost myself whole, and still know I'm safe with you, and tell you the worst about myself in the world, and give you the best in me because you're worth it. You answer your questions, although I prefer not to, and tell you the truth when I don't want it at all, and be honest because I know you want it. And when I think it's all over, pick on you for just 10 minutes because you before you throw me out of your life for good, and forget who I am and try to become closer, because it's beautiful to learn from you. It is worth making the effort. And speak bad German to you, and even worse Hebrew, and make love to you at 3 in the morning, and somehow, by some miracle, tell you at least a little about irresistible, lifelong, overwhelming, unconditional, all-encompassing, heartbreaking, enriching the mind, continuous, everlasting love, how I feel for you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I will share with you my screen to give you a sample of, because this is the beginning of, I think, the most important performance by Krzysztof Warlikowski, one of the greatest Polish theater directors. I have an honor to make a remake of his performance. They proposed me because there will be not next, but the next season, theater season, will have the name of the most important performances of last 2 decades in Poland. Yes, and they will give to young directors the performances of the old directors. So they gave me this performance, and I was really surprised because I love this entrance. This is old woman, German speaking, German actress Renate Jett, who is speaking monologue in Polish. She doesn't know Polish, but she's perfectly speaking text in Polish, with accentation, you know, with the sense, with the meaning, with the emotions. I will give you a sample in a moment. But after giving a sample to you, the text which is unconscious, which is writing hand, yeah, something which is mechanical, which is the head is faster than the hand. Now I would like to make a turn to have a review and to look once again for this text, but with a consciousness, to select, to adapt, to choose, and to have this adaptation gesture. So if you have this map, the text which your body produced, so what gonna get you do it right now with this? In which side, where from, which way? So we were talking about, so this is the first matter for today's meeting, and the second one is we were talking about distraction of the narrator, yes, from we to I, as Edgar Keret. You remember about it? So this is the first possible way. The second one is also on the contrary, so from I to we, and multiplications of these gestures, changing the narrator, so from plural to simple and singular and etc. From we to you, from we to they. So this is the first level of what I'm gonna talk about with you today. The second one is the opening sentence. This is very important for me from where we are going to. So the opening sentence and where we are landing. So hold the space between the opening sentence and the final sentence. Yes, to compare this from the point you started and where you landed. This is the second thing. And this catalog of sentences, because this now I'm talking about what you read, Anna, yeah? Sarah Kane monologue, rewritten by Gruszczyński, I think. He was the dramaturg of Poniedziałek. The guys who cooperated with Warlikowski on this performance, dramaturgists. This enumerative catalog, which started also always from and I, all the time. So it works. Even if you start, I would like to, or I would like not to, and you will just make a sentence by sentence by sentence, you will produce some kind of magical prayer, or I don't know, some performative piece of text which will shout loudly what you want or what you do not want to. And maybe let's take a shape, because I started with you have a text, and now how was it played in the theater by middle-aged German actress, not knowing completely the text in Polish, but speaking it. But she knew that was about love, and I will give you a sample. Where is it? What should I share my screen with you? Okay. I think you got my screen right now, I hope. Yes?
Yes.
And do you also hear the voice? Please tell me.
I know, because it's, I think apparently in Windows you have before, so when you start sharing your screen, there is like a menu on top, and there's like a small icon which says use sound from computer. So you would have to stop sharing, share again, and then press the small button on the menu.
Okay, thank you. Stop sharing here. Okay. Use sharing. Ah, I see. Okay. Ah, thank you very much. Yes. Wow, I've learned something new. Thank you very much.
Przynieść ciekawe i bułeczki, i tłuszczówki, i chodzić do Florenta na kawę o północy, i nic sobie nie robić, kiedy podkradasz mi papierosy, i nigdy nie masz zapałek.
I will tell you, sorry for disturbing. Just take a look that in the beginning we have an empty space, and at the right of the stage we have a woman on the round table chair. She seems to be blind. She has her eyes closed almost all the time while the monologue is 15 minutes monologue, quite a long time, and it's the opening of the performance. And as you read, we are starting from the I love you for. I would like to do this with you. So last time we were talking about the letter. So what is this you, letter U mean? And this monologue is also to the other person. So she's speaking like she would write a letter for somebody. So this is the moment from we are starting with the dreaming about what I would like to do with your body, what I would like to do with you, what I would like to give you, the positive one. And we are landing, we are ending this monologue.
Źle po niemiecku i jeszcze gorzej po hebrajsku i kochać się z tobą oto siecie nad ranem. I jakimś cudem, jakimś cudem opowiedzieć ci chociaż trochę o nieprzepartej, dozgodnej, przemożnej ciągłej. Wiecznotrwałej miłości, jaką do Ciebie czuję.
So I just presented you this because of having just the middle step between unconscious writing and conscious writing, because the one thing is producing things mechanically without using head, just producing. Yes, what will be just will be. You cannot control it, and this is what we tried the last time. And the other middle step thing is the repetition. So each line you start with the same word, and this is what Warlikowski also practiced in this monologue. Then you can control the dramaturgy of the entire text. So the point from where you start to the point where you finish. It can be rising dramaturgy, so from the dark to light, or which I believe reducing dramaturgy. You have everything in the beginning and you only lose. So in the end, sorry Kuba, I just pushed wrong button, but now we are here. So reducing dramaturgy, then when you're in the beginning, there is the world, which is entire, comprehensive, which is the world before the catastrophe, and on our eyes, it's being distracted. So the reduction is the dramaturgy gesture. Yes, this is also in this monologue written. In the beginning, she is speaking about unmeasurable love, but this is only her perspective. And in the middle of this monologue, she is facing the other perspective. So she has a hesitation. She starts to hesitate. What if? She allows the other person to disturb her monologue. And in the end, we know that it's some kind of prayer, because this monologue is, repetition, 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 like a prayer. In the end, it's totally destroyed. And we know that the love was rejected. But I'm telling you about it because from the writer's perspective, this starting gesture, what you are searching for a topic, you are searching for your theme, what you want to tell about. Also this catalog of I would like to, I would like to, I would like to. The repetition gesture is also pushing your mind to the future. You can choose. You can also turn. You can make a gesture of changing this opening sentence part. Yes. So it is like I would like to, I would like to, and after 50 times you can turn it to I don't wanna this anymore. I don't wanna this anymore. I don't want anymore. But I know from actors' practice also that when you are on this level of repeating, then it is coming, even if you have voice recorder and you are just talking half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, you can have a dramaturgy from this room when you are right now and spread it outside of the building, another district of the city, outside of the town, whole the continent. You can just make it from the concrete to abstract. This is also a gesture, dramaturgical gesture. This bow, they are always in literature also. They are teaching about emotional or factual bow between where are you in the beginning and when you would like to finish. Edgar Keret chose we and I. It's very intelligent gesture, but you can also do it more like from here to general, to universal. Yes, from the concrete situation when I'm here with my 70 plants here, and 3 of them are dead because I was not here for 2 weeks, to the planet. So like spreading, or the other way is to reducing. So me as a representative of humanity until me as individuality. This is also gesture of losing.
Depends also like on the sentence itself, because like for me just I want to and I like to, and even like just I see is like what mostly starts from like a broader perspective until you don't have any broad enough that you have to go to the smallest detail or to the abstraction. So yeah, like for me sometimes there is already kind of a way or a bow given in kind of a way. So kind of sense. So that often we just start like with the obvious. So I see the wall or something, and then end up when we, for example, just have the wall, that we can say, okay, I see the small molecules in the wall, like.
Yes, there is a conversation in Stanisław Lem, Polish writer, futurological writer, sci-fi writer of Solaris. There is also in his first novel some kind of dialogue between the doctor and the patient, who is philosopher and is suffering and is poet. And he's speaking like, you know, I see you are no, this like I was watching at the binocular via microscope, and the doctor told me, you know, here are bacteries and they are green and some of them are like this. And he told to the doctor, this is not what I've seen. I've seen archipelags, I've seen islands, I've seen the continents. You know, just the perspective, yes? And this is the starting point of this dialogue, and the finished part was, so we are not empathetic with other people's what they are seeing. And what about the final perspective? If you are at the wall and you are above to being shattered, what about Holocaust? He's speaking. And the answer is, don't give a shit. What Holocaust? It's the same like, you know, Muslims in the 12th century, which were trying to beat Europe. What is the difference between that is history and this is the history? 12th century or 20th century? It's the past. So I am empathizing with them and with them, no matter. And he's also arising a problem to make it more general, from microscope to the historical perspective of centuries, yes? Okay, let's go on. Let's give some kind of practice, like there is a photo also in the files I gave you. There is a photo at the top, I think. You know, just it's not logical name of the file. It's like computer supposed, so numbers dot png. Have you got it? Yes, okay. Anna?
Yes, the street and balloons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, so let's take a practice. The practice is also, please write in 5 minutes, take a paper, take a pen. You have a photo. And I would like you to choose a character from this photo and write about the situation from his perspective. If it will be a bird, if it will be a child, if it will be an adult, if it will be a balloon, if it will be somebody who is taking a photo. I don't matter. But please also think about what's visible and what's out of the frame, what's invisible, what's outside. So you've got 5 minutes, and please do a tale, so the story. So it can be also a monologue. I don't mind, but from the concrete point of view, okay? The perspective. Choose the character of the situation. So you've got 5 minutes. Let's start. Okay, 1 minute left. And slowly to the shore. Finished? Finished almost, okay. Let's try. Before we read what you wrote, this is what we will use in the next meeting. You know, I just found the postcards which I collected in the past from before First World War, etc. So here are messages handwritten, and I think that we should take it as an exercise in our last meeting, the third one. I was, in the meantime, you know, Apollinary, I was reading your text from last time, and it was also tasted like an enumerative catalog, like what I would like to see or what I've seen. And I just want to tell you, because perhaps I will not spoke about it, that you know, I give you a basic, like the first methods of how to start, mechanical or just repetition, but it's all about that. The final point is that when you are trying to tell a story in the 21st century, it's like, you know, old ancient Greece model of catharsis, like protagonist and antagonist is just broken. This model is broken because the protagonist has nothing to fight for in our reality, because there is no world of wartości. Because the values are being used out. So also the antagonist, which was a clear one, like another guy who has his point of view for the world, how it should look like. We don't have such kind of antagonist in our reality, you know, because people are not fighting for how the world should look like. The antagonist is rather a system or spreaded reality, just something which is abstract, something which is untouchable. So we do not confront with strictly another character, but we confront with some abstract system of economics, of finance, of job. So this model of tragedy or of a tale which was proposed for us for many centuries now is like not working at all, because the grammar of reality has changed, and conflict with such abstract reality is not if only the conflict could be justice. It's not fair, because we cannot find with that. Individuality cannot find with that, cannot cope with something which is abstract. That's why I'm all the time, and this is what I'm also talking about with writers, with movies directors also, if the model of the story is changed by the reality outside, this is what I also talked with one of the biggest theaters in Krakow. I was speaking with the head of this theater. It was a pleasure, really, because this is just a guy who thinks. And he thought, what I feel also, hey, come on, theater has got 2000 years. What we have got to do with such ancient medium right now in our nowadays reality? If we would not change it, like, you know, great reforms of theaters last century, etc., it will be just a museum. How to reuse it, how to change it for our conditions. But this is not for also only for me a question about the theater. It's also the question about structure of the tale, because when structure of the everything is a tale, and if the tale is changing there, it also has to change here, how we will tell the world one to another. That's why I think that this kind of practices we are doing right now, sorry for this anecdote, sorry for this something which is between one practice and another, but I would like you to tell you why we are doing that, because of, I propose you because I think we are in very strange and very important moment of redefining things outside. You know, everybody in last 10 years, as if I were in Japan, in Italy, in Austria, in UK, in Poland, in Germany, all intelligent people thought, writers, directors, actors thought something is changing, something is arriving, something is coming to us, something unpredictable. It just came. But if it came, another psychiatrists, scientific man also thought, this is not this, not pandemic, not COVID. There is something greater which is coming. And I was really scared because I've heard it in Europe, but I also heard it in Japan, and they told me, theater critics, actresses, journalists, they told me, you know, we feel like once again in the 30s of 20th century. And I was then really scared, because if I would hear it in Europe, I thought, okay, it's Europe. Europe has its rights, you know. But when I heard it at the other side of the planet, same story, same sentences, we feel that this is repetition of the history. We make a circle. Now I'm all the time thinking about making circles. And if I'm working on my next performance, the main theme is circle. Like, you know, all is closed, going on. This is what I would like to tell you, to be just gentle for observing also the photography and what is in the photography, and it's what outside of the photography, because this is also what I think. The most important things are not written, and the most important things people do not tell each other. So the most important is what we do not tell to another person. The most when you read Beckett, especially Samuel Beckett, this is not about what it's written there. This is what about it's between sentences, the gaps. And when I'm in metro and underground and I hear the communicate, please mind the gap. And then I read the text. I also hear this, please mind the gap between one sentence and the other. So the perfect writer is who is trying to not express, but to hide. And this is what I'm also telling my actors all the time. You know, when you are at the stage, the audience want to take you something, to rob you. If you hide it, they will be more concentrated on you to steal it from you. If you will just give it to them from the beginning, they will have it and they will be no more interested in you at all. But if you will save your mystery and you will not give it to them, the game is starting then. Okay, so this is also what I think about adapting, because I'm also at this moment adapting literature, and this is what I am repeating to myself always. Not so much words. Hide. Play hide and seek. Play the game with them. People in life, when there is about the most important things, they are not expressing it verbally straight. They are making turns, they are hiding, they are lying, they are covering it. So
yeah, like I asked if it's called conflict writing, right? But there are pieces which like very specifically describing stuff, but more like in an artistic way, or because it's described that's accurate, it has like also something like vast, I would say. So that you're like, because it's so accurately written, you also are like in a different world, like in a secluded world, like you're not watching it from a further perspective, but like if you're really close.
Of course, it depends on artistic strategy which one chooses, yeah. So it can be also like uncovering things and give it the straight and name things directly. It's also the strategy, but right now I'm talking about when I observing the reality. Most of it is to hiding. There are always also the moments of I don't want to name it illumination, but anxiety, being angry, being fucked with reality, when you would like to shut things and name it directly. But these are moments.
Okay, I was thinking more about not describing like a political or historical situation, but like, for example, yeah, like I said, like a wall or a flower. Like there, when you describe it in like details, can be very interesting. But of course, like for history and stuff, we always see like probably the most popular is doing like, I don't know what it's called in English, like that kind of fairy tales that you
Yes,
can
of course, you're right. I'm not honestly, and here you catched me here, because I'm, and it has to be told, I'm speaking from the perspective of scenic texts, theater texts. We are mostly interested in extremum things. On one border and on the other, we are seeking for contrapunct. Yes, counterpoint. Sorry. In literature, of course, yes. This is also the text is for. I love to imagine this metaphor of microscope and telescope. So the micro perspective and the most close thing and the most being far away. So I think that these two tools are most important for humanity, being as close as it is possible and being as far as it is possible. And I think that we are still just in the middle. So we are spread between these two things and these two perspectives, and we choose this one or another. But yes, this is not a conflict, what you are saying and what I'm saying. I just wanna tell you that this is what I also see after seeing a lot of performances in theater and reading a lot of texts. When you will take not hot and not cold, just a regular thing, and you will describe it, will be just a regular. When you will take something which is, oh my God. To not being careful, to take things which are sharp, which are concrete, which are full of meat, then it also takes a shape on the form. So the topic is strictly combined with the form. So if you are thinking about flowers, I'm thinking about what Haneke, the Austrian director, said. Don't make performances about Holocaust anymore. This is not your topic. You don't have nothing common with that. You cannot imagine it at all. You can do the most destructive storytale about the cafeteria of your grandmother, and it will be totally destroying. And you can also do a most boring thing which is related with you. So take your themes, take your topics, and be brave in that. So this is what I'm also just empathizing with him after this. Could you please read what you wrote?
So I have a small, and then like after we talked a bit, like I added something, but I would just read what I have. I've seen all kind of people. Old ladies tiptoeing on their heels, returning from Sunday Mass, fighting couples breaking up, children laughing in their play. And what I added was I felt all kind of weather conditions, the burning sun on a hot summer day, the gentle rain after, filling in the traces of time.
So you put yourself outside of the frame.
I put myself, at first I went to, my first initial was I want to be the floor. And then I thought, okay, I want to maybe be a tree. But then I returned to the floor because it really draws me in, like the floor with the shadows. So, yeah.
And one of the shadows are cutted by the camera.
Was that a question? Or...
I just, that was not a question. I just said that what made me more careful observator was that there are also cut things by the frame. So there is, at the left side, there is half of the bird because the camera just, while making a photo, just cut half of the bird and also half of the shadow. So this was what was important for me and interesting, that that while you are taking a shot, a photo, this is the decision, and what is in the frame, choose it. and what is outside. It's also the decision, but something which is also here, inside and outside, the half being at the photo, it's extremely strange condition of being.
And also just like this one dove is also interesting.
Yes, definitely. I have in my collection, because I was going through this antiquariat, I don't know, antiquarius shop, and I was collecting the photos which was abandoned by people who died and don't have family, so they just sell these photos by a cheap one. And I was thinking, oh, come on. Nobody will look at this anymore. So what is it for? I will just make a nursery for these photos. So I took these photos and I was looking at this. My cousin, who she studied set designing scenography at the Fine Arts Academy, and she was shouting at me, "Don't collect it. This is bad energy in here. This is not yours. So give it alone." And there was one of the photos I remember of boy who was running inside of the frame, and half of this leg was outside, cutted. And I thought, oh my God, the perspective is this leg for this frame, for this photo. So the narrator should be the leg. Apollinary, could you just please read your text?
I bought buns. The kids like them with butter, carrots, cabbage, peas. I will make my own mayonnaise. I bought eggs for dessert. We will have marmalade. For soup, we will have a warming broth. It's cold today. If only they don't get a cold, I will have a problem, and maybe I will make stuffed cabbage tomorrow with. So it's something like a streaming of thoughts of this. Yes, inside. I'm also inside this picture, and this is the streaming of thoughts of this woman with the overcoat. I think she's a grandma of this child with balloon, maybe.
Definitely. So this is, each person will probably choose another perspective, another object. I, for myself, would like to choose, I don't know, or a bird or a shadow or one of these stone piles at the pavement, because it's also interesting. But this is what is important, is also a cameraman. Who is looking at this? Why he decided to take this picture? If it was a mother of the boy and daughter of the, it's make higher than them. So what was that? So I think this is the narrator of the story. He's outside of the story, but we can have being familiar with the story by him. So we are looking at his eyes. When you are writing your text mechanically, you are also author and narrator. Your hand or your brain was a narrator. While you are now making a decision through which point of view you will take the story, the narrator is more concrete. So the old grandma is a narrator, or cameraman is a narrator, yes? This is the decision from which perspective you are looking at this. And also, if we would like to go further, because we have a time for that, I have two practices short, but it will also push us forward to make it, to catch the narrator, because I think this is the theme of our meeting today. who is this? What is this? Nabokov said, the narrator is something in me which demands a voice, which has to be expressed, something which has to be expressed. So if we're gonna do 2 short practices, we will learn and knew more, I think. So if we would like to have Danilo text, okay, look at this text. It's in the chat. Have you got it?
Yeah, I'll find it.
Today I have found the sun. And now, Apollinary, you also have it?
Yes, I'm trying now to scroll. Okay. Danilo, text 1.
Yes, this is this. So take a look at this text as if it would be a frame, a photo, a picture. So what is being described? Try to take as a picture, like the previous practice we take. Today I have found the sun and it was so warm and hot, so I wish to make an ice cream of it and put it on my body so I can become a superhero made of hot iron body and sweetnesses. After that, I would like to fly to the moon and will tell to the world that America wasn't there and the Earth is flat. And everything we know about life is false. I don't know why people living their lives if there are no holidays every day. And now I have caught a silence in my head, but after the silence, my head fulfilled with thinking about perfect continuous or present perfect continuous tenses. I think that I'm thinking about it just because I want to go to Mars with the time machine using tenses. So the task is he's using I narrator, so the first person perspective, yes? I would like you to go with a dialogue with this I, with your I. So make some kind of answer to this or argument through one of the sentences. If you would like to choose one sentence in which this narrator uncovers himself, is uncovering his weakness, which you can just take him with his hand and uncover him and attack him with this sentence, which one would it be? The sentence in which he's uncovering his weakness. The weakest sentence of him.
It's kind of hard. I don't understand.
Have you got an idea or not?
I would just like now write a story that is kind of like continuous from like my perspective, which is kind of like complementing to the story instead of
Playing with tenses. It's the perfect thing of Danilo. I will tell him next time if he will be present, because of the thing which was started in the past and it's being last. so we can imagine what would it be. Yes, so he is opening the space for us, for our heads. He don't name, he is just playing with the mortality and the longing of the time, like Edgar Keret using these prehistoric times. Yes, also he's spreading the time with this perfect continuous. But I think, and this is my proposition, because he's starting with a dream, with the impression which is going to a dream, and then he's talking about, I don't know why people living their lives if there are no holidays every day. And this is some kind of the sentence in which he's uncovering himself, in my opinion, in this meaning that, okay, I don't know why people living their lives if there are no holidays every day. So this is very his perspective. I don't know why people living their lives. He is hesitating in this moment. So we can attack him with his hesitation. Perhaps this is he who don't know while he's living his life.
Yeah, like this just throws me a bit off the sentence, because apparently he has to have every day a holiday, because otherwise, yeah, if he's
jobless, you mean?
From the rest. Differently, that when he says like why people live their lives if there are no holidays every day. We probably normally would also say people, he's generalizing, so he's also including himself. But then he either has to have holidays every day, or he is not identifying himself as a person or with the rest of the world.
Okay, perhaps there are many options. I'm just trying to say you if you would like to summarizing it, or Apollinary, if you would like to say something before I conclude.
No, I'm just listening and thinking about this text.
Okay, so I'm trying to take a bow with you from the author perspective to the director perspective. So somebody who wrote and somebody who is reading what is written. Haneke always is speaking that the most interesting character of the story is the one who is humiliated. Sorry, the one who is being attacked. So Olga Tokarczuk, Polish Nobel Prize in Literature, on the contrary, is speaking that while she's writing, she's trying to feel compassion with the character she's describing. If she does not feel this empathizing, then she leaves this character and she's describing it through another character. So she's giving up. She's leaving this person and she tries to describe it through another characters. But this is what I was also being taught, to try to demascate, to uncover the character, to attack it, and to feel from where you can go inside. So if you have a total view, like a picture, try to find this moment, this thin moment, through which you can go inside and make a hesitation to give a question. So that's why I was reading also Danilo text, and I was wondering, okay, where is the moment I can go under the text of this character? Where is the hesitation? Where is the weakest point? Where this is the moment when the dialogue can start. Yes. Do you know what I mean?
For me, it's hard.
Yes. How could I say it in other words? I believe in not total parts of the text, but I'm always searching for one sentence. Because I believe in sentences. I'm always stealing sentences from great writers. And I'm stealing sentences from novels, huge stories. And if the one sentence is working on me, I'm just stealing it and writing in my notebook. And also, while I was reading a lot of diaries of Virginia Woolf, Susan Sontag, Sylvia Plath, there are some sentences also while practicing writing my diary as a character, because then I'm character too. I'm not an author. We can cheat ourselves through a part of the text, not the whole one. And if you are adapting somebody's text, or you are reading somebody's text, you make some kind of gesture. You have to catch this character or this author or this person on somebody, to make a bridge, or to say, no, I don't, I'm not with you. So to attack him. But this happens always through not the whole part of the text, but through the one moment. I'm always searching the one moment which makes an attitude, contact between me and it, me and him, me and she. The moment, the sentence, the word, which I can go into this text and start to a conversation. This is what I'm talking about. I believe that you can always catch somebody through this one moment, because while you are speaking 1 hour through this voice recorder, or you are writing like you did it last time, you will uncover yourself, because it's not possible to not give a general key or tip to the moment, to a state which you are in right now, the moment, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking if I should give like his text a contra, then I would probably go like something where like become a superhero made of hot iron, body, and sweetness.
Yes, it's also the moment, of course. And this is your moment with him.
Okay.
And also, I'm not. I'm not trying to tell you that it has to be contra.
Okay.
It also can be a perspective outside of the frame. So the cameraman, you can write as a more general narrator of the story than he. You know,
Yeah.
this is also a gesture. So you can describe him in the moment of his writing this.
Yeah, like the first thing that I have now is having like being on the other side. So I'm like sitting on the Mars or on the moon and wondering what Earth is like.
It's cool also.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a kind of task, a short one also, because it's one acapit of the story. if you could write it
Yeah.
before our next meeting, just take a gesture like this perspective. If you are a bird, if you are a balloon, if you are a shadow, if you are in the frame, in the middle being inside and outside, or outside, or a cameraman, just treat this text as a picture, please. And this is what you said already. And write just one acapit of the sample of the text, which in the gesture, which will settle you on the contrary of this text, or with him, or outside of him. Okay, if you could just do it and send it via chat, it would be cool. Apollinary, what are you thinking about so much? Don't think so much. It's not worth doing that.
I'm thinking about Sarah Kane, that you said that you will be doing it in the next season, yes? And maybe you know this book, Strategies Public and Strategies Private, about the Polish theater.
Once again,
about strategie publiczne, strategie prywatne. Polski Teatr 90-2005. Nie wiem, czy widziałeś tą książkę?
Nie.
Widać. Nie.
Okay. Sorry for Polish. Now I have this book. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And what are you thinking about this private public strategies in writing or in theater?
I saw this performance, I think 10 years ago.
You mean this Warlikowski performance, which I presented you the first opening scene, yes?
Yes. Clean it in Polish, oczyszczeni, oczyszczonych widziałem. And I remember this first scene, this first Renat Jett, when she was sitting so close to the, she was older than this, and it was touching, I think, for me, the first part of this performance. The next part, I think it was too much for me, and I think I was younger, so maybe this is now the best time to watch it again. You know.
No, I have never watched it till the end. Always after this opening sequence, I stopped because I was so impressed, shocked, despaired with this main character of her, that I never have an intent for going further. And when Sebastian Majewski, the director of the theater in Wałbrzych, proposed me to rewrite Warlikowski's performance, I said, okay, this is my favorite one. And I thought, okay, you've seen only the first scene. And then I thought, but maybe it's about this first scene. Maybe you don't have to go further. We all know about Sarah Kane, but Sarah Kane now is, I don't know if we need this kind of tale for today. It happens. To name things directly. Sorry, this is the question for me. If I have need to finish watching this performance. I believe much more in fragments, because fragmentation, distraction, this is how we see the reality. So if Olga Tokarczuk proposed in her literature narration of satellites or narracja konstelacyjna, no jak to się mówi? Constellation narration, okay. So one acapit is about something and the other is about something another in same territory of topics, but not strictly connected like one line of character which has troubles and changes, and in the end he's winning or losing. We don't, the world is not looking like this anymore. That's why these constellation narrations like Rings of Saturn by also German. If you that was by Sebald. The author was Sebald. Rings of Saturn. If you could, if you want, also. This is the kind of writing. Also, the Flights, Bieguni by Olga Tokarczuk. Same construction of the book. I think that we are in the middle of turning with narration gestures and rebuilding the models of storytelling. That's why I'm just observing it carefully. So, finishing, the last sentence is: once upon a time, I was a guest in Polish television, national one, the worst. And the journalist attacked me before we went on live. What a shame. It should happen on live, I think, after time. And he told me about the canons, about that we still should have some, I have to find the word, some kind of collection of the most important books. And I told him that I'm believing privately in the tasting method, because there are overproduction of literature right now. And I'm crying that I will not have enough time in my life to read the most important 100 books, because each year there are also being produced very important books, reportage, documentary, etc. And I proposed to have some kind of probe method to take just 10 pages of the book. 10 pages, you have a taste of the style, you have a taste. After 10 pages, you can know if you would like to go further or not anymore.
So like somebody just opens up a book somewhere in the middle and just reads one sentence, or I don't know.
Definitely. And he told me, no, we have to have one common collection of books, everybody, and this is our same collection. That was really hard to. But that meeting was not to convince him. But then I thought, whoa, I said something which I believe in. If he would not be here, I will never realize that I'm thinking like this. So after this meeting, I'm strictly believing in probing method of literature by 10 pages. Also as adaptator of the literature. So this is like this. Whoa, today we moved through several practices, through photos, through perspectives, inside of the frame, outside of the frame. Thank you very much for that. As usual, I think after 8 hours, then we could just touch it much more. But thank you for that. In 1.5 an hour, we also did it. That was a pleasure. Thank you very much. Kuba, are you here with us? Kuba, we saw you. You were there. Have you got any questions? Or any maybe ideas for the third hour meeting? Maybe you have needs also. Apollinari, what are you thinking about so long?
About my PhD procedures and which I must do. There's a lot of work and a lot of papers
I believe.
Right.
There are another people with us. Oh my God, Maria, are you there? Oh, it's the time for...
Yeah, I'm here.
What are you thinking?
I mean, this was a new experience for me to analyzing the photos and kind of feel the body of another object.
Have you wrote?
Yes, sure.
Could you send it via chat, please?
Yeah.
That would be cool. Then we can just talk about it next time. Super.
Yeah, sure. I will send it in chat in a moment.
Elisaveta, are you with us too?
Yeah, I'm also here.
Wow! Oh my God! And have you got the text too?
Yeah, sure. I will also send it to the chat.
Fantastic! What universe? We will have text universe. Min, are you traveling via street still?
I'm here. I got home.
Ah, okay. So what are you? Have you heard what we were talking about? Have you got any impressions? Hesitations are more important.
Well, the impression I got is that we are trying to let go of our reason and the things that drive our thinking. So we are just purely thinking with our thoughts and nothing else. Nothing to conform our thoughts to.
Have you wrote also a sample of a text?
I wrote something on, but it's on paper, and
yeah, sure. If you could just before next time, just rewrite it via chat, it would be nice also. You know, because it makes sense only. Thank you. It makes sense if we have some kind of sharing, because I believe this is what took me a lot of time, but I think also really landing because you will probably have next meeting with Rafał soon, so a break. You need a break. So I think that we can conclude it with why I'm just pushing attention on sharing the text, because when you have it secretly, this is only your head which is watching at it. And for me, after a long period of time, the most interesting things in theater also or in literature was where I started to send it to writers, to head of theaters, to confront it, because I then thought that they are not here for destroying me, for kill me or doing me hurt, but we are all playing to the same point, the same goal, that we all want it to be good. And then the journey starts when you have an ally and a friend who will ask you a question which will take a lot of time for you to ask yourself, or never it will happen. So it is good to give another people. You cannot, you don't have to take all the sentences from there, but it's very constructive to share with them before you will put it official for the last version. So that's why I'm just trying to convince you it's worth doing that, to talk, to not being alone with that. And other territories are just being uncovered. Thank you very much for today. Yes, really, thank you very much. I don't know if I should leave you via this because I started this meeting, so I don't know if I will go away, it will all be closed, or do you think I should do it?
And we'll make a new meeting, that's no problem.
Ah, okay, thank you. So, no questions?
No, so we just should type also the of the photo and then type for Danilo's text.
Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you.